Hey, this is Jonah Rosenblum. Welcome to Portage Football Live. Let's start with Week 4. Let's start with Windham. That's where I was on Friday night. And when I left that stadium, I said to myself, my God, that is football at its finest right there. They hit hard. The wing tee is explosive. It's dynamic. They've got the athletes to run it. It's deceptive. They run, they pass to perfection. This is a really good Bombers team. They are for real. And we saw them defeat a previously undefeated Matthews team, and it wasn't all that close. We also saw Roachtown and Rovers. This is no surprise to anyone, but according to Zoolander, they are really, really good looking. Caleb Kaut, 4 touchdowns. Dylan Connor, 2 touchdowns. This is a team that can break out a big run at any moment. They had 4 touchdowns of 15-plus yards on the ground. That's really impressive. We saw Ravenna compete well with Woodridge. A late first half score killed him. But again, the Ravens did prove they can compete with the elite, and they're going to have to stay on that same level because they've got Springfield, Coventry, and Norton in a row. We saw Crestwood compete well with Western Reserve, and Western Reserve now goes on to play Southeast. It'll be interesting to see how Western Reserve does against Southeast, and then you can kind of compare how they did against Southeast with how they did against Crestwood. It's a silly comparison, but that's what sports journalism's all about, right? Let's move on to the Pirates. The Pirates are moving on to face 3 4-0 teams in a row. Now, the first 4 teams they played this season, a 2-14 combined record, but that is going to change real quick for the Southeast Pirates, and we're going to really see that defense in action. I can't wait for that. 3 of the first 4 games of this season, they've given up 8 points or fewer, but they gave up 43 to West Branch. I think during these next 3 games, you're going to get a real picture of what this Pirates defense is like. Let's move on to Week 5. That's why I'm on the computer. Let's start with Aquinas at Crestwood. Last year, Aquinas finished 9-3. Crestwood finished 9-2. 2017 looking a little bit different thus far. The Red Devils 0-4. The Knights 1-3. The Knights have been the victim of a number of blowouts early in the season, and maybe the Red Devils can pick up that first win, but they've got to take care of the ball. Let's move on to Ravenna at Springfield. Springfield really struggled to run the ball last week. 18 rushes for 18 carries, and the Ravens have been defending the run beautifully recently, doing a great job against Woodridge and Kent Roosevelt. The question is, can they hold that pass attack for Springfield, including Stubbs, the quarterback, and Parks, the wide receiver? Can they hold that pass attack in check? Kamani Jones, the star defensive back, is going to be a key weapon in Week 5. Let's go to Streetsboro at Woodridge. The Rockets looking to avenge a 70-0 loss. They've got the depth. I discussed it in my Metro report, so that'll be interesting to see. And we also saw that Woodridge did give up some running yards last week to Ravenna, and Streetsboro is going to really want to run the ball with Russell Kendall. We've also seen Mason Leidick on fire ever since he returned from injury for the Bulldogs. That's probably the biggest concern if you're Streetsboro. And then we also are going to wonder if Will Butler, the Streetsboro quarterback, is back from injury. He missed the end of the Springfield game with an injury, and the Rockets would really like to have him back for Week 5. Then let's look at Gilmore Academy and Mogador, a pair of 4-0 teams. Mogador won the matchup last year, but the Wildcats are certainly a different team this year. The Lancers are actually largely the same team. They returned 18 starters, at least at the beginning of the year, including their big 285-pound All-Ohio tackle, Tyler LaRue, although Mogador has seen plenty of big boys like him. And then finally, our Record-Courier game of the week, it's Windham at Garfield. I'm telling you, Windham's got the athletes to compete with the G-Men and break that 9-game winning streak that the G-Men have in the rivalry. The G-Men are a fascinating team because they run the ball so much, 176 rushes against 15 passes, and thus far everyone has been able to run the ball. They've run it to Ryan Brown for sure, but they've also run it to Anthony DeNigris and Devin Penna. They've run the ball all over the place. Peters has gotten a number of carries. They've found success with a number of different runners, and that speaks to the offensive line that the G-Men have. And honestly, the game is such a conundrum for me to pick. I'm just going to flip a coin, so if you don't mind, heads is Garfield, tails is Windham. Let's see how it goes. Heads, Garfield. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy Friday night, and I can't wait to see you back here next week.